Oh, that moment, like I remember exactly how I felt and the struggle, and I said to myself, I'm never going to feel this again. I do not want to feel like this. So from that day on, I said, I'm going to work hard, and that's exactly what I did.
Now, this is Pink Sparrow, Anneke Odendaal, who is a business owner, and she helps coaches, business owners create reels for their business.
I love it. You're wearing pink, I'm wearing pink, the background's pink. When business owners are making reels, a lot of them give up because they don't feel like doing it. So the thing that helps you get through the days you don't feel like it is having a plan, having a layout. Knowing your strategy is going to get you through those really hard days. It's about learning what works with reels and what doesn't work, and testing, and then from there developing your strategy.
If you were to give the one key and it unlocks the key of their empire, what would that key be?
Hello, my queens. We are here with Keys to the Queendom. I'm super excited, back at my favorite studio, Damn Good, with the James here, and I'm really excited to introduce you guys an amazing guest speaker. Now, before I give this beautiful intro to this queen herself, I really believe it's all a big thing when it comes to building your social media presence, to really adapt and pivot. And this queen has been I want to say, the epiphany of women who has really gone from walking away from a 9-to-5 job to starting her own entrepreneurial business. Now, this is Pink Sparrow, Anneke Odendaal, who is a business owner, and she helps coaches, business owners create reels for their business. And she's here today to give us all the insights on how you can be doing better reels, myths and misconceptions on the algorithm, even just mum life, and what it is that she can help other women out there, mums as well, when it comes to navigating the work-life balance. Having a family, being all the different hats, the mum, the videographer, the wife, the entrepreneur, and the most amazing queen herself. We're here today. Hello, my darling. How are you?
I am so good. Extremely honoured to be here and very excited. What an incredible intro. Thank you.
Yeah, babe, it's because you are incredible, and we are aligned with the pink, the vibe. I think everyone really is going to love this.
I love it. You're wearing pink, I'm wearing pink, the background's pink. This is perfect.
So I watched you on stage at Morgan Nelson's event, and I was absolutely in awe with your story, how you've moved to Australia. But our viewers, our listeners who may not know who you are, give us the story of who you are and what it is you do.
Great place to start. So I grew up in South Africa, and we immigrated to Australia to have a better life, a life with safety. And my mum, she homeschooled us, and my dad worked really hard. And as kids, we didn't have a lot of money growing up. I remember, running through the op shops and picking out outfits. And as a kid, you don't know you don't have a lot of money. You're just happy with what you have. But now reflecting back, I know that my parents really took what they had and they made it work. And that's sort of been the motto for the rest of my life. And another thing that my parents did is they would purchase home brand food when all the other kids had, they had all the colourful labels, the Cocoa Pops, and we had the Rice Pops. And looking back, I really reflect on everything they've done for me, and I think, yes, I'm so honoured for what they did. I'm not embarrassed, and I'm taking that with me for the rest of my life. I'm going to take what I have and make it work. I remember my first car, it was a jump. You've seen a photo of it.
It's great.
This sedan, Holden red, bump marks everywhere, scratches. It couldn't even drive up hills. Like, this thing was old, but it worked. And I pulled into the petrol station one day, and I was looking in between the seats, under the buckles and the mats, just looking for a gold coin so that I could put petrol in. And that moment, like, I remember exactly how I felt and the struggle, and I said to myself, I'm never going to feel this again. I do not want to feel like this. So from that day on, I said, I'm going to work hard. We do my best in whatever it is. And that's exactly what I did. So I went to uni, got a degree in marketing. Straight out of uni, I worked for a business doing their social media. Then another bump hit the road. I was diagnosed with endometriosis, which is extremely painful periods. And 1 week of every month I couldn't work. As you can imagine, the business was like, this isn't sustainable, so we're going to have to let you go. And I found myself thinking, what am I going to do now? Where am I going to get an income from? And so I sat down with my husband and we're like, all right, let's brainstorm this. Papers everywhere, drawing boards, blackboards, pencils, sticky notes, everything. Like, it was really fun. And we started coming up with the idea of building a social media marketing agency, because that's my background. I already know how to do that. So from then, Pink Sparrow Social was born, and I started gaining clients. It was wonderful, fully booked out, amazing journey, different businesses. Then another bump. COVID, 2020 happened, and all the businesses were closed down, and I lost a lot of clients. Yeah. And at that time, we were planning to have a baby soon, and so we were eating into our savings and had to pivot again. So there we were, back on the, living room floor, papers everywhere, and I said to my husband, Reels are really blowing up right now. I can see TikTok is doing incredible, and Reels are going to follow the same trend. I just know it. And he, at that point, he didn't like Reels, he didn't like TikTok or videos, and he looked at me like, you're crazy, but I love you, so I'm going to support you in whatever you want to do. And then I went all in Reels, developing strategies, and from then on, it took about a month to see the first sort of big result. With Reels. We went from less than 1,000 followers to over 10,000 in 1 month, and then after 3 months, 100,000. And it was then when I knew this Reels thing is amazing. Like, you don't even have to pay for ads, and you can reach thousands and thousands of people with the power of a short video. And what that can do for business owners and mums who, like me at that point, couldn't even afford petrol, to now Reels is my life, is my income. Like, I owe everything to Reels. And that's why I love teaching about Reels, because anyone can do it.
I love your story, and it's beautiful to witness, the bumps that you've just explained, the pivoting moments to the red car, the way that you're so appreciative of what you've been through as well, like reflecting back on your family. Your beautiful husband sounds like someone that just goes, yep, babe, I'm in. No idea what that's going to look like, which is like my partner too. And it just sounds like there were a lot of moments where you could have gone, you know what, I'm not going to do this. Has that been something from the bumps that you've spoken about? And I talk about this beautiful analogy where it's like 3 feet from gold. It's something I'm talking to my clients about, where you're just so close to digging that pot of gold. And so many entrepreneurs you might know, or business owners, coaches, go, you know what, fuck it. Like, I'm done. Were there any of those moments in the bump along the way, and what got you through?
Great question. Yes, you're only moments away from striking gold. And I also like that quote where they say, diamonds are formed under pressure.
Ooh, I like that.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm writing that down.
It's a good one. And, the thing that you desire the most is just on the other side of that hard work, that persistence. And when business owners are making Reels, a lot of them give up because they don't feel like doing it. So the thing that helps you get through the days you don't feel like it is having a plan, having a layout, knowing your strategy is going to get you through those really hard days. It gets hard. There will be days where you go, oh, my views are down, and you relate it to your self-worth and you think, I'm not good enough, or the views that I'm getting reflect on my self-worth, and that's not true. It's got nothing to do with your self-worth. It's about learning what works with Reels and what doesn't work, and testing, and then from there developing your strategy. And that's what gets you through those really tough days.
I started Instagram in 2014, and I was one of those people that posted a photo of her stomach in Thailand because I didn't know that whatever you posted would be public. So lucky I wasn't nude, right? But since then, and you and I just spoke about, I came from the fitness background, a bit into business. When I first started social media, back then it was photos and just, no captions, no purpose. And I think it was easy back then, right? And I don't like to say that building a business is easy, but when you're resilient and you're committed to it, it becomes effortless because you're on mission, right? Now, obviously, we're in 2024. Reels have been around since 2020. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, my birthday, actually.
Really? Are you joking?
No, I'm not joking.
It was meant to be.
I think it's
Are you
destiny.
serious?
Yes,
What
I'm
date?
serious. 5th of August.
That's
You can Google it.
amazing. I'm going to Google that. So, with anyone that's listening right there and they're like, great, I want to, start to amp up my game with the reels, knowing that it's changed from 2020 to now, what has been some of the outs and the ins when it comes to reels that some of the viewers can start to really take note of?
Queen, how often have you said, I spent my whole life studying, I've been to school my whole life, and I've actually learnt nothing that teaches me the tools and strategies to build a successful business in the outside world. You've probably spent thousands of dollars on courses, or you've heard fake news from business gurus. Well, I'm here to give this incredible news to everyone here right now that this is Queendom University. Get out of debt and actually start making money in the online space, knowing and having the foundations to build a successful business. Now, I'm talking because I have gone through the trenches. I have been a fitness coach, built my online business as a pro athlete, and now I am a business coach. You'll go from having absolutely no idea what your business is through, in the 8 weeks, learn the foundations of knowing what your purpose is, your vision and mission, and also understanding your business values with the execution to know what that business is. You'll also learn branding, social media, content strategy, marketing, and more importantly, how to sell. With Queendom University, it'll cut out the bullshit and remove all the fluff and get you working specifically on your business so you can execute this in 8 weeks to get ready to launch. I wanted you to have something where you get to access something straight away, where you get to fast track your growth, as well as remove any doubt, any overwhelming sensation or stress, or the question that everyone seems to ask, where do I begin? With Queendom University, you'll be able to build wealth, freedom, and at the end of the day, be an entrepreneur and be able to say, I have finally built my own thing, my own business. And I've stopped making money for someone else, and I'm now making money for my own empire. Queendom University.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the ball has changed, the game has changed. It's not what it used to be. When you first started with Reels, you could post anything and it would do well. Why? Because there was less people on the platform, so less competition. So now that there are more users on the platform, it just means there are more eyes, so you're competing for your audience's attention. So whatever works right now is what can captivate your audience's attention, and that's what's winning at the moment. And so how do you captivate your audience's attention? Well, every reel has 4 hooks in a sense.
I like this.
A lot of people think it's just the text like on your reel, but it's more than that.
So there's 4 hooks that we want to focus on, right?
In every reel.
Yeah.
So you have the visual hook. So what is happening in your reel in the first 3 to 4 seconds? Is there movement? Is the scene changing? What is happening? Is it captivating for the eye? That is a hook in itself. Then you have the text hook on screen. So you could, call out your ideal audience, use a really well-structured hook so that they go, oh, this is for me, I want to know what's in this reel. The third type of hook is the one that's in your caption. So it makes people click on the caption to read more. And the fourth type is the audio itself. What's happening in the audio? Does it captivate people's attention? Is the music doing something interesting? Is it a lip sync or an audio that people are familiar with? Is it a trending sound? So those are the 4 hooks you need to focus on in a reel to captivate your audience's attention.
Now, I'm actually now asking for myself right now, because for myself, I have always been prioritizing conversions, but then how do you go having the blend of engagement, but also bringing in the conversions as well? Because I have a lot of clients who they utilize reels. Their engagement might not be as high, but their conversions are great. But I do believe we want to have high engagement so we get more followers, more views of our ideal client. But we also want to make money online. What's your views on that?
Yes, you do need a good mix of them all.
Yeah.
So I like to point out that there are 3 types of people that you're trying to, I guess, speak to and get their attention. You have people who don't know who you are yet. Then you have people who are following you right now that are new, and then you have people that have been following for a while. So each of those 3 people require different content. So the people who don't know about you, this is your attention-grabbing content, your highly shareable stuff.
Yeah.
Then you also have to have another piece of the pie, which is your connection content, the stuff that builds the engagement, so that you can then build that trust to move them over to that raving fan who you then can convert.
Yeah.
Another thing that I love doing is blending the two, getting the engagement to blend with the conversions.
Okay, how would you do that?
Oh,
Join my course.
it's magic. So you use the power of automations.
Yeah.
You get your audience to comment a keyword.
Mm-hmm.
When they commented that keyword, the automation allows you to reply to that comment. And as you know, the more comments you get, the more your reel gets pushed out. It signals to Instagram, hey, this reel's getting a lot of engagement.
That's cool.
So people are commenting this keyword and you're replying to them, so that's double the engagement. And then everyone who commented gets sent a link
That's
to
amazing.
the freebie you're giving them, which then later converts into a sale. So you're
Yeah.
combining engagement with your sales.
And so, again, absorbing for myself right now, taking notes. Someone's starting out, they don't have yet a product, or they're quite new to understanding what their ideal, or their avatar, their niche, but they want to start to build a brand awareness. So do you feel that first things first, it's the amount of quality of content or quantity of content, or a mix of both? And if you were to give that, I guess, the women listening around brand awareness and just building that brand, what would the next steps be for them?
Great question. So a lot of coaches talk about either being, I'm pro high quality, less content, and other coaches say, no, I'm full content, less quality. But let's bust that myth, because Instagram's head CEO has currently said that the more you post, the more you grow. And
You said that recently? Yeah, nice.
his name is Adam Asseri, if anyone wants to look him up on Instagram. So, the stats are out there that if you really want to grow, you have to post more. But that also being said, crappy content isn't going to help you grow. How do you get better at making content? You have to post more. So you can quickly learn, all right, this works, this doesn't work, I'm going to do less of this, let's experiment more with this. So I guess what I could say to your audience and your listeners is find a posting schedule that works for you, that you can sustain.
Love that.
Yes, I recommend posting more, but if you can only post 3 times, 4 times a week and you can sustain it, that is so much better than someone going hardcore for 30 days and then stopping. So do what you can sustain.
Well, that's true, because if you only go for 1 month, let's say 3 posts or 3 reels a day, and then you burn out, that can affect it essentially, right? Yeah.
Yes.
And what do you normally do? What do you do now?
What do I do now? So I'm in the stage of my life where I'm maintaining my account. I went through a stage of fast growth. And so for maintaining, it's just sticking to a reel every couple of days. Being a mum, running a business, and doing it all on a lack of sleep. Your brain doesn't work.
Yeah.
And so...
It's really good to hear that, though.
Oh, yeah. I'm not pretending. I'm not hiding it. There are days where I wake up and I'm ready to film reels. I've got my pink suit on, my makeup, everything's done. But then something happens. My baby might need me, or something else happens. Maybe I have to cook dinner, or I forgot to do this. And then work has to be put aside. But I did the groundwork to get to this point. So I did post a lot, and I did it consistently. And now I do have this following, and then I just maintain it. But if I wanted to grow more and really quickly, I would post as much as I could.
I love that. And I will come back. I know the mic's just like...
It's dropping.
I'm like, why is it so low? That's on my tip. I want to touch base on mum life and also how you navigate that, but I've got another beautiful question, because I love everything about you, and I don't just say that. You feel authentic, you sound authentic, how you show up as you. I see the colours you wear, you represent your brand, and I love that. I work with clients around branding too, and at one point a client said to me, like, do I need to have that theme where I wear pink, or I have a crown, which is my anchor for queen energy, because there are days that you would know it's hard to show up on those days, right? So I've got my little unique attributes or quirkiness. What do you tell people out there when they may not have the brand voice or personality to be bright and crazy, but how do you create the aesthetics and consistency for someone that may not be like us or pink?
Mm-hmm. Yes, you're the crown, I'm the pink, and that's
Yes.
the branding.
Yes. Well, it's more than that, but yeah.
It's so much more than that.
Yeah.
I think if you're first starting and you're trying to find your brand, I mean, this is your area, but in Reels is being your most authentic self, because no one can copy that. And when you are exactly who you are, you start to find, is it maybe how you speak? Is it how you dress? Is it certain colours? Like, what is it that you love? Do that. Share that. And you'll find your innermost self through that.
I really appreciate you sharing that, because it's, I think, exactly what the queens need to hear today. Let's talk about being a mum and your beautiful daughter Charlotte, and another one along the way. Tell us what it was like when you first found out Charlotte was conceived, and you were navigating through the business, you had the agency, COVID, hubby. How do you help other women who are mums who are about to go through a life-changing experience?
The best thing you can do is set up as many automations as you can in your business, whether that is, comment automations, DMs, funnels you can use, freebies that lead to webinars or upsell to your products. That is the best thing you can do, because the less you have to be in your business, the more you can work on yourself or on the business.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing I would do. And the other thing is batching your content. So what I did while I was pregnant and before that is I batched a lot of Reels. Literally the night before Charlotte was born, I had just batched some Reels.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I had...
I'm sorry, you sound like me. I reckon if I was 9 months pregnant, I'd be like, babe, I gotta do a podcast and do my Reels. I love this.
Yeah, I'm serious. The night before. So I think she was waiting for me to be ready. Like, I was filming so many Reels that day because I knew, like, I had to, gather my acorns for the winter, essentially. So I was gathering all these Reels and just filmed them. So I didn't do any of the editing or the text. I just banked out all the filming, and that night, 4:30 a.m, my waters broke.
Perfect timing, divine timing. Your birthday being like as well as this. And how was that? Tell us more.
So we actually prepared a lot for birth. Preconception, conception, and then the actual birth. We wanted to have a really natural home birth, so that's what we did. I did a lot of research in how do you create that space? How do you prepare yourself mentally and physically for, taking on that responsibility of doing it at home? Like, it is scary. A lot of thoughts go through your head, and I had to, do as much work on myself as I could to prepare for that. I mean, women have been doing this for years. Like, we've been giving birth. And this is a huge topic. Like, if I wasn't a Reels coach, I would talk to women about birth and share so much to do with home birth, and that it can be beautiful and it can be empowering. Like, if you go to hospital, right, there's so many bright lights everywhere. There's people in cloaks, and there's tech everywhere. It's a really high anxiety inducing environment. I mean, if you can't make love in front of those doctors, imagine giving birth.
Yeah. And how did you prepare for a home birth? Is that right?
Yes, so we found a free birthing doula.
Yeah.
So there are a few different ways you can go. You can get a midwife to come to you, or you can go, just a free birthing doula. So that's what we did. We didn't know how much blood there was going to be. So my husband's like, I'm going to tarp everything. So he just got like these canvas tarps.
Love you.
And he made like this cave, salt lamps, music. He just made this nice cave. But I barely had any blood, so we were like, well, we prepared. And I had weekly sessions with my free birthing doula.
Yeah.
And she would just teach us about, what to expect, and that the spectrum of birth is huge. Like, it is this, and what people are taught is normal is this, when in reality, it's so much more than that. Like, I know someone whose waters broke and then a week later she gave birth.
Are you joking?
No. Yeah.
That's insane. And I was just telling you about, we're planning for the next 2-3 years, and it's just like my eyes are just, wow, that's insane. So it's just a matter of doing the research, but also just not being so closed off as to what's possible, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, opening, I guess, your ideas and your realms and your reality of what's possible.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to fit it into a box.
Yeah, and I think that's so beautiful in all aspects of life, right? You know, I have recently been also diagnosed with endometriosis, so I really connect with that. One of my girlfriends, she was also diagnosed, but she didn't do the natural birth because of, again, like what she was told back then, to do a C-section. And, you know, everyone obviously goes through what their beliefs are as well, and it's just beautiful to hear that, you know, when you put energy into something and you really value what's really important to you and your husband, you know, I think everything else kind of like gets put aside. And I feel this is just an opportunity for other women to look and research. And I really love that, because I think what I was saying to you before, the baby conversation's been coming up a lot. And I think where I want to bring in this now open to is for women who are now navigating through mindset from business and being a mum. I put a lot of pressure on myself. I don't know if you can tell. Mm-hmm. So I can already feel that when I'm going to be a mum, I want to still work, but I know that there is this beautiful element of the uncertainty and just being present and being. How do you navigate through that, but also still wanting to have this hunger to build your empire?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So beautifully phrased.
Thank you. I don't know where I was going with that, but I came out.
That was amazing.
Yes. Hey, beautiful kings and queens. Are you right now in a space where you're ready to take action and build your business, yet you struggle where to begin? You're feeling stuck and overwhelmed with all the things you need to do when it comes to building a business. Build the business of your dreams in the online space and be in the arena of all the incredible, great humans out there that are building 7 to 8 figure businesses. Now, the foundations that I truly believe in that you are going to learn through this membership is sales, marketing, content creation, social media, money mindset, and of course, branding. Now, all of this will be accessible for you to be learning what is currently hot right now in the market and how you can create your own business and build a successful business in the online space. All you have to do right now is DM Empire in my Instagram or email myself and my team, and we will get the ball rolling so you can have your empire and start making moves in the online space.
Yeah, so there is that part of you that just wants to drive and work on the business and get so much done, and then there's that part of you that's like, oh, I want to be a mum and I want to bake sourdough and have a milking cow. Like,
there's to my soul.
Like, there's this inner battle within you of trying to find the balance, and there is no balance. Like, no matter how hard I try, I cannot balance them. I am constantly being pulled one way and then the other, and that's the best I can do. Is I spin one plate, then I run over and spin the other plate. And the thing that's helped me the most is, you know, being able to use Reels to create an income so that my husband can be home, so then he's helping with that. So if you have a community around you, it makes a huge difference. So a typical day for us looks like a swim in the ocean.
I've seen it.
We have breakfast together, and then my husband takes my daughter and I have 2 hours of work, like my 2-hour power work session, and then we have I take her, he cooks food, then we do family time, and then we do our nighttime routine. So that's what works for us, having set boundaries of, okay, this is my work time, this is my family time, this is specific sections for what you do. And that's helped the most. It's when you don't have that time allocated that you'll find yourself being pulled. So you'll be doing one thing, thinking about the other one. So I think the best thing I can suggest is having allocations, but also just when you have your newborn, just really soaking that up, enjoying that. I mean, the business can wait. What matters most is the imprints you're giving that newborn baby in your arms.
So important. And you grew up with a loving mum and father.
Yes.
That's so important.
Really grateful.
And your husband works for you, or is he a stay-at-home father?
He works with me, yeah.
I love that. I love that. I need to rephrase that with you. My partner just started working with myself as well.
Amazing.
Yeah, and it's, again, like, it's amazing because it's all been divine timing, right? And had you asked me 2 years ago if I could see that happening, he is a tradie or was a tradie. And I think it was just at the start of the relationship I was unsure. Maybe there was still a bit of like, I'm going to say, a perception of what a male should be, or what I thought was meant to be a man, or the masculine trait. And over time, when we worked on our relationship, you know, I really needed him in that space. And it's just been a game changer for women listening, and even just for the husbands as well. Like, how do you guys make it work?
I was just about to ask you that. You know, I was going to do a full 180
Sure.
and be like, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, please.
So I would love to know, when, you know, you're running the business, you're now the breadwinner. And so that's a very masculine trait that now your husband has to allow you to do that. What have you been doing to sort of, I guess, bring back the balance of allowing him to be in his masculine and you finding your feminine?
I'm still working through that, because how he loves to help me is with systems and managing my team. Like, he's very good at building things and technology and AI, and I'm hopeless at that. And I'm not very good at managing people. I'm Brazilian and German, and I can be very fiery with love. I go back to what I said, and I'm like, that I didn't mean that. So he's really good when it comes to the systems and place like that. But I find that right now I do feel like I'm in my masculine a lot. And what he has communicated with me that helps him feel masculine is when I can, you know, I guess, clock off, because I feel like we live together, we work from home together. You know, sales has been a big thing for us. But when I can sort of do the things that he loves that I do, which is cooking and quality time with him, and also just switching off from my phone, that's allowed me to be feminine. And I'm still navigating through that, because sometimes I think, maybe this is a belief I have, I like being masculine. I don't know. I don't know. And it's just been really interesting. And now we've also had conversations, because it's been a big thing for us at the moment, that we probably need to sort of find that gap where he can now focus on his own thing. And so that's been a conversation recently where we want to have someone that comes in and takes away his work, that he can still help, but that he gets to do his e-com stuff, which is his goal. So it's actually been something I'm still learning, babe. It's been, it's been interesting. It's something that's been coming up a lot. You must pick up on that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel the exact same way.
Yeah.
Like, learning how to navigate that, because we love business and we love doing what we do. And I don't think it's a bad thing to have that drive. And then, you know, finding a space where you can allow them to then build their thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And is that something your husband wants to do?
Yes, he has his own vision for his empire thing that he wants to build and how he wants to, you know, help the world. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
I'm excited to then allow him to do that too.
And I think it's really nice that you bring that up, because my partner, I share a lot on this podcast. He had an idea, and I have to be honest, at the first time I heard the idea, I was like, really? And I looked back on that conversation, I was like, that was really horrible to question it as opposed to empower him. And that's something I've noticed within myself. Communication's been something I'm still navigating with him. And, you know, 2 years and 10 months, no, 2 years and 1 month that we've been together, where we're working through parts that I would probably have never worked with anyone else, which I think is a big thing. And I think, when you start to see someone that you truly love, and then you start to bring down their ideas, it's like, what's happening within myself to make him feel that? So that's been something I'm sharing with you guys, that I'm actually really excited to see where that goes, which you'd have to share with me too, like how you navigate that. Like, do you guys have a time frame when that's going to happen for you guys, when he starts to focus on his thing, or is he doing that now?
Great question. Let's rewind a little bit. You were saying you were wondering why you could be, putting him down. So I'm wondering, maybe there's a part of you that when you were younger, were you put down for your ideas?
Yeah.
Did something like that ever happen?
Yeah, it's great that you bring this up, you know, always. Like my grandma, she was someone that was on my father's side. When I used to want to be a dancer actor, she was beside herself. And I was like 15 years old. I think I've shared this story on here, but I'm going to share it again. I went to Hungary to visit her, and in front of all her friends, she told her friends that I wanted to be an actor dancer, and they all laughed and made fun of me. So I think there is something there. And I think it's something that's been coming up a lot for Jordan and I. I think healing for us has been like, oh, we're on to the next thing. And it's really cool because I've never found someone that I can express and be vulnerable, but also he loves me unconditionally, and I'm sure your husband does as well, which is kind of what I wanted to bring up with you before around mindset and healing work. A lot of our listeners are very open to the woo-woo stuff, the internal stuff, and I had a feeling would be too. What are the things you're working on yourself at the moment and with your husband, or have worked on, that you could share with the listeners?
Mm-hmm. Yes, communication is a lot. I think also understanding triggers, what we do to trigger our partners, and being able to catch ourselves. And sometimes when you get triggered, it's really hard to notice it. So my partner and I were coming up with like, okay, what can we say to each other when one realizes we're being triggered? And it goes back to this Native American theory of Wetiko, that when you're being triggered, Wetiko is stepping in, it's using thought implants, and it's trying to bring down your frequency and your energy levels. And there's a lot on this. I'm butchering.
You'll have to send it to me.
Oh, yeah, it's a really great listen.
Yeah.
So we just say to each other, babe, Wetiko, like check Wetiko. I think it's trying to take over right now and bring you down.
Love
to
that.
sabotage us as a relationship. And we're getting better at it and better at finding ourselves. So I think a lot we're working on is finding Wetiko and then finding ways how to get yourself out of it really quickly. For me, I have to leave the room, take a couple breaths, and then just come back, then I'm fine.
We have a word when we fight, not yet for trigger, which is something I might have to write down, and it's marshmallow. And every time we fight, because it can get heated, we just start laughing. I think he imagines me as a marshmallow. That's why he always like, did you do this? So yeah, and I want to bring this back to the audience and the listeners. I feel it's so important to know that it's so beautiful to find someone that you can fight with, to be yourself with, to navigate through the healing journey, and be open to exploring that with someone, you know. I have so many more questions. This is just crazy, but I know we have a strict time. But I wanted to touch base on healing. What does that mean for you? And what are the things you're working on, not just within your partner, but now for yourself, that the listeners would really value right now? You know, imagine the listeners are right now feeling a little bit lost within themselves, and maybe there's a bit of confidence stuff, fear of judgment. Like, what are the things you've worked through around that, and what you're working on yourself too?
Fear of judgment is a huge one, especially with social media,
Yeah.
being on reels. You know, like, what's your grandma going to think? Are they all going to laugh at you? Like, all of those feelings come up every time you post. And it's really hard to put yourself out there, and that's okay. And the best thing you can do is to do it for you. You know, you're not doing it to please other people. You're doing it because you have these dreams, you have this vision, and nothing's going to stop you except you. So if you have that vision of where you want to be, babe, go for it.
I felt that.
Yeah.
Now there's a beautiful question before, actually no, this one I want to ask right now. 2024, you're coming to the end of December. And you look at your life and you're exactly where you want to be. What are the goals you've achieved? What are the things you envision? What do you feel and hear?
What do I feel in here? Ooh, okay. I have my 2 babies with me. We have... It's because your baby's connecting to you. We have a beautiful community of business owners that have gone through my programs, and, you know, they're messaging me, telling me how much their lives have changed, and as I read them, it fills me up with so much joy. And what else happens? Yeah. So I've got my baby, my husband, my business. I guess just the feeling, what I feel now, I don't think that it'd be any different, because I try to live as if and feel as if I have everything I already have.
That's beautiful. So visualization, manifestation.
Yes, with all the senses, sight, smell, hearing, and taste, and everything.
And, wow, that was really beautiful, babe. It's never been, I've always been a very metric, goal-oriented type of person, so just hearing that, it's so nice. And that's just something I'm working on as well. You know, it's like 7 figures or 8, da 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 da.
You're so go-go.
I am.
Anyone who's around you will leave the
They're like,
room
"Whoa."
powered up.
Oh, thanks, honey. Thanks. Anneke, the listeners and myself, we have this beautiful question we always ask to end this episode, and that is, if you were to give the one key to someone right now, and it unlocks the key of their empire, what would that key be?
The key to their
one
empire.
advice.
One thing.
Yeah, sorry.
Sort of like you go back in time and tell yourself one thing.
Whatever you
like that?
want.
Or is it...
What would be the key to the secret of whatever they need to build their empire? What's that one piece of advice that's really changed the game for yourself, or whatever you interpret it, my darling?
Wow.
Deep, right?
That is deep. I would have to go back to the start of this episode where I shared that you take what you have and you make it work. Because there are people who had more, there are people who had less, there are people who have smaller waists, who have fancy technology, who have amazing lighting or the newest iPhone, and that doesn't matter. What you take, what you have, and you make it work. Because there are people right now who are smarter than you, or there are people who have less than you and they're doing better.
Yeah.
They're just taking what they have and making it work.
Oh, beautiful girl. It has been an absolute honour to spend time with you today and wear pink and be in Queen energy with you as well. Where can everyone find you? What could you drop in for the beautiful queens that want to work with you and be part of your beautiful world?
Amazing, great. You can find me on Pink Sparrow Social on Instagram. We can connect there. I also have a freebie for you. I do.
Thank you.
So for your listeners, I have 7 reels that convert. It's like a template.
I love it.
With scripts that they can plug and play and experiment with and have some fun.
This, by the way, just found out now. I love this. Thank you so much, beautiful girl, and everyone who is listening, watching. This is Keys to the Queendom. I'm here with Anneke Odendaal, the Pink Sparrow. This has been an amazing episode, and I cannot wait for you guys to be back next week on Wednesday to really bring forward your empire and that queen energy. I'm your host, Tamara Meyer, and this is Keys to the Queendom.
I started to realize there were all these identities I had in myself. And when I was dabbling in the life coaching space for me, I started to understand that really what my pain, the thing that I kept hiding, the thing that I kept suppressing, the thing that I was ashamed to talk about was my purpose to share, was my purpose to help you guys. Everyone in this room today is here because you see something in me that you see in yourself. That's it, right? So if you can really bring that into your heart and you think about your ideal clients, if you were to show more of those parts, wouldn't you attract more people that you want to work with?
Inspiring. She brings so much knowledge and resource and information, but also fosters a beautiful, atmosphere of connection.
I felt like I was in a room with some really powerful women.
My favourite mic drop moment was creating impact, showing up so that we can reach as many people as we can.
My key takeaway was having the confidence to just show up.
I wouldn't be where I am today without her and without her knowledge and guidance, and she's made me really believe in myself.
My key takeaway from this is that you should dream big and that you are capable of it, and with the right tools and the right help you can achieve whatever you want.
I love you.